and welcome. All politics, they say, is local. While the grand policies are debated in Abuja and mega projects are commissioned in the state capitals, the true heartbeat of any society is found in the streets, the markets, and the everyday lives of citizens. Our focus tonight is on grassroots governance, the heartbeat of democracy and the closest link between government and the people. This is the domain of the local government councillor. For years, the third tier of government has faced a crisis of identity. Are our local councils truly empowered to serve, or are they merely administrative outposts for the state? Today, that question has never been more urgent. With the landmark Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy, we're witnessing a possible fundamental shift in the architecture of our democracy. Our guest tonight is Honourable Williams, Chairman of the Lagos State Councilors Forum. We'll be exploring the challenges councils face, the impact councillors are making, and the vision for strengthening local governance in Nigeria. So thank you very much for being here on the program.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I think I would like to understand what inspired you to serve at this level, at the local government.
There are a lot of things. There are a lot of opportunities and there are a lot of things we can do. I, for one, I read computer science. I was working and I was even working with a multinational. I just had this urge to serve. I didn't know. In fact, some of my family members would say, Kunle, sure, you want to go? You want to be a councillor? Well, I'd been around for some time, even while in school. So, but basically, I'll say what inspired me to come to politics, and especially at this level, is service, desire to serve, desire to make impact.
Yes, but I'm asking, majority of the people who know want to serve in the House of Reps, the Senate, or as governor. Why at the local government level?
Yes, serving as a governor is a very great privilege. It will be a very great privilege to serve as a senator, House of Rep, or even House of Assembly, yes. But in fairness, if you really want to touch life, you serve at the local government.
Okay, so
tomorrow, there could be an opportunity to serve in higher office. But I'm telling you, from what I've been through now, I know that if you really, really, really want to touch life, you serve at this level.
Okay. Now, take us through your work as a councillor.
Your work as a councillor, ideally, should just be you're making law for the local government. We call it bylaw. And you do oversight function. You oversight function on the executive arm of the local government. You check, you do like a check and balances to what they do on all the ministries or department or agency under the local government. Take, for instance, an ideal setting, there's a construction, and you think that, you think what's being done is not very, very appropriate. You can talk to the appropriate authority that come, we need to check. Or the healthcare services, or even say that in your local government you don't, probably just have 2 primary health centers and you have you notice that there's a need for more. So your oversight function is to ensure that you discuss with the executive to see whatever they can do to ensure that we have more than that number of healthcare services, primary healthcare services in that local government.
So if you were to help us understand now, that means you function just the way the House of Assembly functions and the National Assembly.
Exactly. It's just a miniature of the National Assembly and the House of Assembly in each local government. Democracy is beautiful. And the essence of democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Yeah. So it creates an executive and also creates the legislative house from different constituency or different registration area, which you call wards, so that they stand to represent their individual constituency. So just like the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly, exactly like that.
Okay, so help us understand how you go about ensuring you get the voices of your constituents so that you are attending to their needs.
Yeah, first remember you're one among them. You're one of them. You're one of the people. And they voted for you, having gone through different process of electioneering, and you now emerge as a representative. So the best thing we do for you to be an effective and an efficient legislator is to go back to your community always, depending on the framework you have. Maybe town hall meeting, stakeholders meeting, ward meeting, and all kinds of meetings, all kinds of consultative fora, so that you ensure that you get the needs of your people always. And remember the word, unlike the senatorial district and the federal constituency, these are smaller places. You are living among them, and you know their issues, even before becoming a councillor. And even after you became a councillor, there must have been issues from time to time. So you know their issues and you relate to them. They are your people. So it's a bit easy with the stakeholders forum or other kind of meeting you call. And
then in Lagos, you people have the peculiarity. You've even broken it down a little bit more to LCDAs.
That's the CDAs. And our main partners are the CDAs.
Okay.
So we see CDA as a
CDAs, please. For those who may not
Community Development Association.
Associations.
Just like we can see it as those days where we used to have landlord association.
Okay.
So now we have CDA. Now you don't have to be a landlord before you have a voice in your community. You don't have to be a landlord before you say what you think is right. So we call them Community Development Association. Group of people coming together within a community now. It's not political, so you have a common interest that's developing your community. So we relate to them most of the time to get feedback. What do the people want? What are the issues? And you have all of that association, religious association, markets association, and everything. So we work with all those people to get their feedback and to get what they need per time. And so that informs our oversight function, that informs our bylaws and our policy that we pass to the executive to work on.
Okay, now you head the forum of Lagos State Councilors.
Yes.
So what's that forum? What's its objective?
As the name implies, there are councillors. We have 376 councillors across Lagos State from each ward and all the 57 councils in Lagos State. So each councillor comes together to have a common front. Our idea is to, sometimes they say iron sharpen iron. So our idea mainly is to create this personal development among ourselves. I'm a ranking member as a councillor, so I have a bit of experience. I'll say a bit. So we relate with others to give them advices on what to do and how to do it. It's in advisory capacity. I can't force them to do anything, but again, we have a common front of looking at things that concern the councillors together, things that we need to do together to ensure visibility and other things. And by the way, also, main agenda, if you ask me my agenda as the chairman of Lagos State Councilor Forum, we call it SL, the agenda is to create stability across the local governments. There's this tendency as a legislator anywhere in the world to want to have rancor or issues with the executive. But as a chairman of the forum, my idea is to ensure we have stability across the 20 local government and 37 LCDA by ensuring that we are forward-looking. Even before there's an issue, we look for a way to ensure that we don't have that issue. And if there's an issue, we'll look for a way to call ourselves and see how we can have a peaceful resolution to those issues.
When you say for the body, each councillor or each set of councillors work with different local government chairmen.
Yes.
So when you say you are trying to see that they have peaceful resolution of issues, how does that go about? Because you're not. It's not like you're working with one leader. Different people are working with differently.
That's true.
Members of the executive. So how do you go about that?
In every local government, you have the council chairman.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the head of the executive. Then you have the council leader, like you say, the speaker of the legislative house. And so there will be a lot of interaction, like budget passage, appropriation, and
oversight,
and in the case of supplementary and some other things. A lot of things will happen. And so while this happens, without experience and without guidance, there's tendency or there's a possibility of having one or two local government that they have these there's disgruntled, or there's one or two issues. So we step in by calling ourselves to order that, hey, Mr. Leader, Mr. Speaker, you should have done it this way. This thing you're asking for may not be within your power. Look at the relevant law, as in the Lagos State Administrative Guideline and all the relevant law. Look at this. So why not let's do it this way, so that you have each free administration. So that's what we do most of the time.
I'm not sure if you're aware, but there is a perception that too much of comfortable, peaceful interaction between the executive and the legislature is not what democracy had in mind. So to an extent, it now brings that perception is that it appears the legislative arm there. Short, you are just saying it nicely. Some people call it rubber stamp. Since there is no confrontation, what's your own reaction to that?
I'll tell you. I'll give you a scenario.
Yes.
Having friction all the time, having issues and trying to show that you can make noise and you can shout the loudest may not necessarily bring the necessary development your community or your local government, your state or wherever needs. Sometimes having peaceful resolution, having a parley, having a common goal, having a common front will go a long way in resolving issues and in even moving your people, moving your community forward. See, there are places where the school of thought is no, you have to make noise, you have to shout. I can achieve the best of legislation without necessarily making a fuse or making any noise. And I'll communicate and I'll pass my message in the most polite and in the most appropriate way. Everywhere in the world, legislators, they have this tendency of no, because I want to check what the executive is doing. And remember, this is democracy. Democracy is like, if you choose democracy as a way or as a system of governance you want to follow, it's like choosing a medication. And you have to follow that medication through. Otherwise, if you take half of it and you don't finish it, now you've not achieved what you wanted to achieve. So democracy is a combination of that. You have to have that executive, you have to have that legislative, and that judiciary by extension. So for me to achieve what I want to achieve, I don't necessarily need to make noise. You don't necessarily need to hear my voice always.
Yeah, but that's in the ideal.
In the ideal.
In the ideal that the person you are interacting with also has that same framework. If you meet somebody who wants to put his foot down, and it's my way or the highway, at those points you will have to, for the good of the people. So I'm not sure if always that peaceful resolution can work. That's what I'm
now, asking. If I have options, if I have two options,
yes.
One is peace, the other one is war. I always take peace.
Peaceful. But not that you are not willing to...
Not that, and not necessarily that I'm a rubber stamp, but I will always look for a peaceful resolution, because every war ends on the negotiation table. So why do I have to go to that war and at the end of the day come back to that table? Where was that table? When you were going to battle and when we were blowing and rolling heads. So I always take that as a policy, and I tell all the council leaders, as a speaker, in all the councils in Lagos State, 57 of us, when we have meetings, see your best option is to be forward-looking, see what you want to do, and always choose the path of peace. The path of peace, knowing what you're doing, not like you just because he that must come to equity must come with a clean hand. If you have a clean hand yourself, and whoever you're dealing with, you made him understand and account. The constitution that legitimizes us, all of us, from the president to the councillor, says that power belongs to the people, sovereignty belongs to the people, where we derive our power and authority. So, Section 14. That's my best. That's my best section of the Nigerian Constitution.
Okay, so you are someone that you've had much experience, even though you want to modestly say you're still learning. You're serving for the third time.
Yeah, third.
Now, from your experience, what are the peculiar challenges that councillors face?
There are a lot of challenges, and the challenges, number one of the challenges are the people.
With
the people.
The people
you're serving. Sometimes a lot of people don't understand why they voted for you. They don't understand the role they voted you to go and play. So sometimes it could happen that you are doing the work they voted for you to do, but they are not seeing it because they are expecting something else. For example, you vote in a councillor, a legislator, in any of the houses, and what you expect him to do is to fight for the community and not to fight for an individual, and not to, be a money bag. And some people think, oh no, you should be able to give us, and about the real thing, I voted for you to defend this community, to defend this world. You voted for me to bring good governance to my community. Sure. So that could be a challenge. Then that's the challenge of the people not understanding what you're doing. Now, personal development is one of the challenges people have, because I do tell my people, once you get to this job, it's like riding a bike. You can't stop. You just have to keep learning, keep upgrading, and trying to understand what the people actually want. So those are the few challenges. So
you're indirectly saying when you become a councillor, it's not automatic. It's something you need to.
You see, where I came from, they normally say they can teach you, they can give you a job, but nobody will teach you how to do the job. So when you get there, you have to understand your people. And look at something. We have 376 wards in Lagos State. Each one has its own peculiarity, because you are representing people, different people. Maybe say 20,000, 30,000, 100,000, 200,000 people in your ward, and so there are peculiarities. And for instance, somebody representing, just to say, Ajegunle, would have a different issue from somebody outlook from somebody representing somewhere in Ikoyi, for example. So you have to understand your terrain and know that, this is what my people want. Because in Ikoyi, they may not need borehole. But in Ajegunle, they may need borehole, they may need to clear their dairy, they may need good refuse dumping area and things like that. So you have to know, and you have to know how to take that fight to the house, so that collectively, as a house, you can make requests for those things the community needs.
Honourable, if I'm to ask you now, from where you sit and with your years of experience, what would you say is the major problem we have to address what appears to be the needs of the man on the street? Because if we have this structure that trickles down and you are with the people, it's clear the road here is not good. We have traffic congestion. Let me use Lagos as an example. We have primary health centers that we need to. What is the problem that it looks like these needs don't get to filter up and get addressed?
Yeah, Nigeria's situation is like a man with so many children, and like so many of them, and sometimes he may not be able to attend to all the needs of those children, their educational needs, their recreational needs, and every need at the same time. Yeah, so it's just like that. It's a peculiar place. I've been to over 20 countries in this world. Even before becoming a councillor, where I was working at, and I see peculiarity, less population, more education, and other things. But in the case of our country, we have our own issues. And so some of those things we need don't get there the same time, or at the most appropriate time. Now, but what we need more than anything is educating our people, sensitizing our people. Now, we need this. This is what we need, and making a community have a common front. This is what we need. We need primary health center. We need pipe-bomb water. These are things we need, and now making agitation for those things. So, but in any case, we may not get there in a day. We may not get there in a year. We may not get there even in a decade. But I'm sure that with concerted effort, with consistency and persistency from all of us, not from the councillor alone,
yes,
from the chairman of the local government, from members of assembly, from members of rep and everybody, I know we'll get there.
Yeah,
because remember, we all came from the same local government, from individual local government. Nobody fall from heaven.
True,
so we have that, and the people need to understand that this is the purpose of governance.
Yeah, I'm saying this because for a lot of people, they feel we've been on this democratic journey for a long time. And sometimes it looks like, is it worth it? I mean, the way it's supposed to work is to meet needs.
Yeah.
Like you said, government of the people, by the people, for the people. But it appears it is not getting for the people. So when you say it might not come in a day, it might not come, the question is, when will it come?
The same question I will ask, but I want to be very optimistic. So
Okay.
I've been in government, I've been a part of government, and I see I wish everything worked like copy and paste. I wish it worked like copy and paste, but in reality, some things may not just work easily. In fairness to the chairman of local government across Lagos State, they are trying a lot. Not because I'm from Lagos, and not because of anything. If it's not, I can just decide to keep quiet. But you can see from this local government, at least Lagos Island, East LCDA, Lagos Island, you can see the structure where we are was built in record time.
Was built by
the chairman.
Was
built by this administration I'm part of.
Okay.
And was done in record time. If you got here 6, 7, 8 months ago, you won't believe it's the same place you're coming today. And if you look around, you see development going here and there, and so that's what makes me to be optimistic. Not as a part of government now, but as a citizen of Nigeria, as a citizen of Lagos, I want to be very optimistic that they maybe look a bit slow, but we're getting there. We're going to get there.
But this picture you painted now, it can't be painted for all of Nigeria.
Yes.
Some will say it appears Lagos is performing better when it comes to managing the issue of local government structure. Have you spoken to any of your colleagues from other parts of the country to understand what they are?
I'm a very frank person. Forget politics. If we are not here, we'll be somewhere else. I would say we can't even be better. As in, we're not doing politics, we'll be doing something else. I'm a very frank person, so I like to be very realistic. I want the best for this country. Some of the other governors are not really, really encouraging local government. And they fail to realize that Nigeria will go nowhere until you empower your local government. Take, for example, Bagu local government. I'm one of the major stakeholders in councilors, national councilor forum, so across the country. And take, for example, Bagu local government. Bagu local government is in Niger State. About 11,000 square kilometers, bigger than Imo and Abia, I think. Yeah. And now, the allocation for that local government, it is being withheld. How do you expect, I'm just saying, for example, how will a governor be able to manage resources and manage development in places like that? A governor that has so much to do, so much to handle, so much work. Give it to governors. It's not easy to be in government. Even this little one we are doing is, some people say, "Come, guy, I hope you won't enjoy yourself with all this work you are doing. You barely have time to sleep." Now, and that's the essence of this delineation and this structure, where you have the president has his own a lot of work to do. The governor has his own work to do within a state. So the local government should have a chairman, should have a running government that will know that all their responsibility is for that their local government. So it's Nigeria may not get it until we have that local government autonomy.
Talking about the issue of the need for autonomy at the local government level, and I'll be frank with you, it's a surprise to me that despite the Supreme Court pronouncement on the issue of local government autonomy and their funds, not much is happening. From where you sit, what do you feel are the challenges making it impossible or making it difficult to get that pronouncement ruling?
As I said earlier, from my own point of view, especially with all the experience I've gathered, I know that the best thing for this country is to have that local government autonomy for every local government and local council to be responsible for the development of their own people.
True.
Now, for whatever reason, this has been delayed or this has been having issues, I think we need to call more on the Governors Forum to ensure that, because the truth is, the truth, whether we like it or not, we won't be in power forever. But the country will always be there. So it is what we do now, ensuring that we have everything works well, at least in an ideal setting. So we need to call on the Governors Forum to try and work on this. And Conference of State House of Assembly. They are the lawmakers. They need to work on this. They need to ensure that each local government have the autonomy, like what we have in Lagos. You can see development. You can see development that's tried everywhere. Go to Alimosho, go to Bejuleki, go to Agboiketu, come to Lagos Island, go to Ikeja. You can see just because successive governance, administration in Lagos State have understand that, local government needs to breathe, local government needs to have the autonomy. So I think the Governors Forum, the House of Assembly, Conference of House of Assembly speakers needs to work on this. And they need to take it serious now.
But some people will say that for those who this battle is being fought, it does not appear as if the people at the structure or the leadership at the local government level, even for the whole of the country, it doesn't seem they're pushing and trying to advocate that they get these funds. We seem not to be hearing anything from the local government.
Yeah, it's possible because of the way politics has been played. But it doesn't mean they are not making the push or making the fuse. Maybe one way or the other, there's a silencer somewhere. But the truth be told, we don't get local government. It's when I got into local government administration that I realized that, damn, if we get local government right, everything will be good. At least every child will have quality primary education. Every child, every family will have to at least feed. Markets will be good and every other basic things. Once those basic things are there, are done. So I think they are making a noise, I'm sure. But more needs to be done. And I'm telling you, these are the people I'm calling to. The Governors Forum and the State of House, all the State of House of Assembly, especially the Speaker. They can work on this. Nigeria will be better for it.
Let me take you to one issue that a lot of people have, especially those who do businesses. It appears that there is a lot of multiple taxation and sometimes harassment from local government agents. I'm using the word agent. Some people use the word touts, but I would use agents. And that it affects business. And the question has always been, can we not modernize how we go about getting, whether it's dues, whether it's whatever it is, that payments that are collected for the local government?
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get there. With this tax reform, I hope everything goes well with it. We're going to get there. I understand very well that as somebody coming from the IT background, digitalizing tax collection will have been much, much, much easier and better. But because of the people we're dealing with at the local governments, because of the level of education or the way they do their business. Yeah, I've had an occasion where enforcement was being done and you think, oh, it could have been done better. I'm sure it can still get better. And then people need to understand the role of local government, the importance of local government, so they will be able to pay those taxes. Because those taxes, for some local government outside Lagos, I don't know how they're able to run government. For some. So I think we can't diffuse that general issue from the general issue of the country in terms of level of education and level of exposure from that scenario.
So we need to do more for education.
We need to do more for primary or basic education, exposure, letting people. I'm not talking about in terms of Lagos now, for example. I'm thinking of Zamfara. I'm thinking of other places, I'm not talking of the capital, looking at the rural area.
True.
And so, when there's a level of education and there's a level of exposure across the country, and in Sokoto, in Kaduna, in Kano, in Lagos, in Ogun, in Oyo, in Imo, in Abia, in Benue, in Niger, in Kwara, I think it would get all those things right. In Adamawa, it would get that right. It will help the local government. It will help the people to know, okay, this is what the local governments are entitled to collect. And then our people too. I know NOA in Nigeria is doing a lot of things. Orientation agency is trying to do a lot of things to make people realize that, okay, paying this little token and getting the dividends of democracy will go a long way to help you as a people. Everywhere, almost everywhere in the world, we pay tax. Or at least those countries that we're looking up to, that you pay tax and you pay all this relevant tax. So I'm sure this, in coming years, I'm sure things will start getting better.
Let me take you up on the issue of the role. You mentioned the people. Do you think the people play their role? You've spent a long time in a leadership role in the community. Do you think the people appreciate they have a role to play in the governance structure?
Now, most of the time, it's to go back to this orientation and education of our people. We need to invest so much in orientation and reorientation. Now, most of the time, people think, oh, they have a role to play. And I, as a person, and government to serve, will expect constructive criticism, expect a very good feedback from my people. So people normally and certainly have roles to play in ensuring, because it's a government of the people, by the people, for them, for the same people. And as I said, my most favorite section of the 1999 Constitution is section 14. It says sovereignty belongs to the people, from where the government derives its power and authority. And you know what section 2 says? Subsection 2 says that the essence of governance is welfare and security of the people. It's all about the people. So now, the people need to understand, and now need to understand the limitation of each offices, understand the limitation of your councillor, understand the limitation of your council chairman, understand the limitation of House of Assembly and what the governors could do. And so once we get that orientation and that understanding, so that you can now go and ask that, Mr. Councillor, I know you have power to do X, Y, Z. I know you have power to clear my drainage, or legislate, or make oversight function on clearing of our drainage, or making our local road. Why are you not doing this, sir? What's the problem? And now the people need to have a level of trust too. The trust deficit is so much, for whatever reason. We met it like that, probably before we were born, maybe because of antecedents in this country. We need to have a level of trust in the people you voted in. Then you can now ask the right question, or let me say appropriate question, or appropriate demand.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is this from your own, you said a lot of times you have stakeholders meeting, when we're talking from the federal level, we only look at participation in elections, because that's where we'll be like, people are not participating. But you have a different scenario here, because you're working with them, working with people every day in, day out. Now you call meetings. I'm saying, do people attend? Do people take part in the role that they should to ensure that you get the feedback you need to do what they want?
Most times not. Most times. But sometimes you get commendable and very encouraging feedback, especially from the youth. I particularly take so much interest in the youth because as a young man, I used to make a lot of noise. Oh, why is this not done? Why was this not done? No, the government is... So I take a lot of time to try to lecture them, to try to call them that come. Government can do everything for you, but you have to do certain things yourself. You have to make sure you're educated. For example, not because I'm a member of APC, look at the net fund, the student loan. Look at other incentive or initiative brought by Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just for this same youth, to ensure that no matter the standing or financial standing of your parents, or even if you don't have one, you can still go to school, get the best of education. Now, what do you do with that education? How much effort did you put into that? So the people, yes, they may not be doing enough, but that takes us back to reorientation. And this reorientation won't be done by the government alone. I think the media has a lot of work to do. And not just making the news, not just selling news, but ensuring that we're doing our, would I say, civic responsibility, ensuring that we're sensitizing people. We're creating news or media outreaches to ensure that people understand what they need to do. I'm always happy when people ask me a question within my jurisdiction. I'm always happy when people say, Honourable, we voted for you, this thing, we wanted to do this for us, we wanted to do that. And I'll tell you if I'm able to do it. If I'm not able to do it, I'll tell you. Rather than always making demand for, so come to me, because at the end of the day, if you push me well and I'm able to do it, I'll look back and be happy that, oh yes, I brought this transformer to this community, because when they needed it, I was able to rise up, I was able to do all I needed to do. Oh yeah, this thing wasn't there. Oh, it's my footprint. But if you don't come to me, if you don't push me,
or take advantage of the
at the end of the day, and I leave office and I look back and I can't say that I've done X, Y, Z, then for me, I'm not happy. So I rather appreciate you come. Let's talk on what we can do, how we can move our community forward, how we can move our local government forward. And at the end of the day, I'll be happy. And at least I've been able to achieve that. That'll be on my scorecard.
Okay. Now, usually, and I'm happy you spoke about the youth, there seems to be some parts of society we feel are excluded from governance. You've spoken about a key one, the youth. But some people also raise the issue of women. That it appears women don't seem to have access to roles, to play roles in the governance structure, especially in the country. What's your own experience, and how is it on ground here?
Here in Lagos, we're very lucky. A lot of policies, a lot of ideas comes in to ensure we balance things.
Okay.
Like, I'm the chairman of the Councilors, about 376 of us. So about 100 of them are female. Maybe a little less than 100 are female. And it was really, really incentivized. Okay. It was really, really done in such a way that to encourage them to be part of it. Deliberately done to encourage them
By
to be
who?
part of it. My party ensure that, our party APC ensure that we give women this, like almost, I'll say leverage, I'll say make it easy that, okay, like when they're selling form,
Yes.
and they're almost selling it almost half of the price for women, and trying to encourage them to come in and trying to, if it's consensus, okay, why not try to encourage women to be part of it, if you see it. So I think it's getting better, but because of the culture, where we are from, religious and cultural background, we may not get there in a day. But I'm sure, as I said, out of 375 councillors that I'm a chair of, we have maybe a little less than 100 are female, and a larger portion to our youth. So either way, female and youth, and so just trying to, and even making case for less privilege, all these disabled people living with disabilities, and just trying to encourage them. I think on a larger note, most of the progressive are really working towards that.
Line. I would like to have your own thought. If you were to talk to young people now, just as you said, when you were young, it was a push. There's a lot of Nigerians, a lot of young people in Nigeria who feel things can be better, and they want to take part in making things better. What's your word to them? Because let it not be that they are focusing on going up, that you can only make change happen when you go to the top, federal. What would you be saying to them?
In fairness to this current administration, youths are really being represented. Yes. The Minister for Youth is a youth. It never happened, at least since I knew. It used to be one elderly person, but now the narrative is changing. Commissioner in Lagos State, someone I know very well, is a youth, is a young person, and that speaks the language of the youth. So now, my frank message to the youth is they need to rise up. They said evil tribes when good men fold their hands. They need to rise up and be part of good things. They need to use their youthful energy to be part of developmental process of the country, but they should start from their community.
Okay.
And now, this gratification, wanting to make something out of everything, they need to disabuse their mind. If they really want to see the Nigeria they desire in future, say 20 years from now, 10 years from now, starting from 5 years from now, they need to be a part of it. They need to be a part of whatever is good that is starting in their community, or they initiate it. Always stop group of youth coming in a community and say, okay, in this community, we are graduates, we will encourage pupils from primary school, we take them extra lesson. Well, will it stop us from doing that? So that's we need to have that sacrificial give back. And now, if some people start it, don't make jest of them. Oh, what's the government doing? You are just doing pro bono. No, it should be a part of it. Now, they can. Who knows? They may be the one in charge of governance tomorrow. But if they've imbibed that culture of service, when they get to power tomorrow, it should just be easy for them and able to correct those things that they think needs to be corrected. And so my word for them, any day, any time, sometimes I can be very frank with them, come, you guys are not doing enough. You don't sit down and say that, oh, they are not giving us opportunity. And you don't take opportunity from the top, you take it from the bottom, from your house, from your community. Come together, do something good. Then don't wait for reward. Do it and know that you're doing it for your country. Like they always say in America, whatever you want America to do for you, be ready to do it for that country first. So once our youth imbibe that, and from we need to start teaching our children that you need to serve, not what I want to give you. No, go do it. Since it's good for your country. So when our youth are able to get that, then I see a very bright future in Nigeria.
Would look forward to that bright future. We're also looking forward to seeing that the local government works the way it should, and like you said, bring the development from bottom to top. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And that brings us to the end of tonight's conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts and perspectives on the issues we discussed and on the positions shared by our guests. You can share your reactions and questions with us through our social media platforms and email. We always value your voice in this dialogue. For those who wish to revisit past conversations, our YouTube channel has a full archive. Simply search for Newsnight, explore the playlist, and catch up at your convenience. Thank you for being part of the conversation. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay informed, and bye.